Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I've had a couple of people contact me to ask if I can talk them through my Redstart stroke spotted flycatcher boxes. So I've basically cut one out this morning and I'm going to show you how I put it together, and I'll explain to you the sizes, the dimensions, etc. So here are the dimensions. We'll start off with the back. Now the back is 43 centimeters long. I always cut down on all my strips are 17 centimeters width, so all that is 17 centimeters width, and I do that on my table saw. Okay, so the start off of the back, that's 43 centimeters. The roof is 39 centimeters long by 17 centimeters width. The front 6 centimeters by 17 centimeters. The bottom 14 centimeters by 17 centimeters, and the two sides are 32 centimeters long there and 11 centimeters long there, okay, by 17 centimeters. So there's a still image of it all, so if you want to take a photograph of that, that's the dimensions. Okay, so when I'm fixing pieces of wood together, I always use Gorilla Glue, and I always use brad pins. Now in here I've got 50mm brad pins, or 5 centimeter brad pins, and they will suffice. Now it is quite tricky putting this together, so I always use, actually, before I start that, we need to mark out where we're going to put, where we're fitting the sides. So you want to measure up, say 4 centimeters, and make a mark using a square. Square off where the bottom of the sides is going to go, basically, so we can try and match them up together. And this is tricky, so I always use advice to help me with this, because it is quite tricky. Use the other side to balance. So I'm going to run some glue down here first before I fit it with brad nails. Now you don't have to use glue. If you're using natural wood, you can just use nails if you want to, but for longevity reasons I like to go slightly overboard and make sure my sides are fitted appropriately, because like I explained in previous videos, my nest box sites are on quite a high elevation in the Banau Brycheiniog or Brecon Beacons National Park, and the weather is completely different. I'm going to switch the Milwaukee down on. The weather's completely different to where we are now at the moment. So this is marine ply I'm using. This is only 12mm, but it's good enough for this. Okay, so those nails are not gone all the way through, so we'll just use a hammer to finish it off. So the next side will be slightly easier because you've already fitted the one side, so it's going to counterbalance each other. Try and get it lined up to the mark that you made earlier, the pencil mark, and then carefully fire home your pins. Like, it is a bit of a balancing act, I'm afraid, because of the shape of it. That's the two sides on. So what I'll do now is fit the bottom, but before I fit the bottom, I'm going to drill a 10mm hole right in the middle, right in the centre, and this will act as a drainage hole should any water get inside. Okay, so now this is important. You don't want to fit your bottom piece on the bottom of the sides like that, because water is just going to come down the sides and it's going to get in through that hole, into that gap there. So always fit your bottoms inside the sides. Okay. Now, as you know, again, from previous videos, I've had real good success with these this year. So it is worth trying. I know some of you have already made these, but it's only your first year, so give it time and hopefully you're going to get Redstart's nesting now. Right, so what I do then is fit the front. Again, I'll glue and nail this. Mark where it's going to go first, so I don't have to put too much glue on it. Okay, that's that. So that's the shape. And all you've got to do then is fit the roof like so, which will leave a 28mm hole, 28mm gap there, which would suffice for a spotted flycatcher and Redstart. It's still an open fronted box, but with restrictions. So I need to. Okay, so I'm now going to show you how I fit felt to my roofs. I always start off with a bit of damp course, which is bricklayer's damp course. Make sure you got the angle right at the top, and just fit on. I use this Milwaukee staple gun. It's only a 12-volt tool, but it's absolutely brilliant. So you just want to fit that like that. So all you're doing, you're gonna 7 centimeters overlap, and then the rest can hang back. Now, what I've done, I've cut down my felt about 15mm wider than this, because I want it to overhang, which you'll see in a sec. That's come from a full length of felt, the roll of felt I should say. All I'm going to do is double it over like so, and I'm going to fit it on like so, and I'm going to show you how to do this in a sec. You want to try and get you want a bit of a 3 centimeter overhang like that. Turn it over, try and keep it in place, and then get your felt nails. You want 3 felt nails at the top, because this is the damp course is going to act as a hinge, but also it's going to prevent the felt from splitting. So I've got a double layer of felt there. Bring it back over the other side, and with a my son's taking my scissors by the way, so I'm going to have to use Stanley knives. So the 4 corners you need to do a slit, and I'll show you how we do that in a sec. Right, you don't have to use felt because this is external grade ply. This is going to be waterproof, so you could just use this the bricklayer's damp course if you wish, but I always like to use felt, again, for longevity reasons. So I've got my slits in each corner, and then all you do then is stand it upright. So this is going to be the bottom of the roof here, I'm just going to get my staples, bang a few staples in, turn it on its side. Those little tails that you've cut, tuck those tails in like so, and I always use a felt nail for the corners here, because that will keep it in place, and then the rest then can be staples all the way down. It's up to you how many staples you want to use, but what I always put a couple of, oh, the dog's barking at me. I always use a couple of felt nails as well, just to keep it in place, because the wind's going to try and blow this up, and the felt nails prevent that from happening. Shira! Okay, damn dog, sorry about that. Okay, felt nails in the middle, 5 on the ends, and then we'll say 1 in the middle, and then we'll put the rest staples. Okay, then you're left with that. Alright, I'll show you how we fit that in a sec. So you get your box, make sure this is all tucked in like so, and all you do, put it in place. When you think it's in place, again you want 3 felt nails to hold this in place like so. And this ain't going to go anywhere now. So that's what you're left with. Okay, and that's basically going to go over like that and go down the back like that. Now I've not cut this felt long enough, so I'm going to have to add a bit of felt on this, but this will give you a general idea anyway. So what we need to do now is tuck these behind like that, but I'm going to have to trim that down first, so bear with me. And I've not got a scissors. Oh, what's this over here? So let's just trim these off, just so I can show you exactly what I'm trying to say. If you need to ask any questions, don't hesitate to email me or leave comments below, and I can go through it again, it's not a problem. Alright, so let's tuck these little tails behind with a staple. Now this is marine ply, so I don't really need to paint this because this is expensive ply and it's totally waterproof, and it doesn't delaminate as easy as some of the other felts. And then what you're doing then, you're tucking the tail over like so, and that's going to stop water from going down the roof there, okay? And then you've got your roof with the hinge. The felt's not going to split because you've got it's reinforced with damp course, bricklayer's damp course. And what I tend to do, I'll put a strip of felt down here as well, and I'll probably paint it as well. I got brown paint so it blends in well, and that's pretty much it. Alright, so that will sit on a tree like so. It's basically a box where the birds are going to fly down under like that and come up underneath. You can put a little catch on it if you wish to stop the roof from being pushed open, and this is going to be predator proof. Not many birds, crows and jays and things like that, they're not acrobatic enough to get to this. Grey squirrels might have a poke, but it's only a 20mm hole, they're not going to get into there at all. And that's pretty much it. Now, the dimensions I give you can vary. You can make slightly different ones to this, but this is the one that has worked really well for me. And this is one I urge you to try if you're trying to track Redstarts or Spotify covers. And let me know how you get on. Cheers guys.